Both the newly refreshed Chase Sapphire Reserve and American Express Platinum cards offer a host of new perks, benefits, and coupons to help elevate the way that you travel. And while at the end of the day, on paper, the Chase Sapphire Reserve looks like the better card for me in my current situation, in this video, I wanted to go over why I still elected to choose the American Express Platinum card as my premium travel card for 2026. Hi guys, my name is Evan, and on this channel I talk about all things related to credit card reward travel, so if that sounds like something that you're interested in learning more about, make sure you hit subscribe down below so you don't miss any of my videos. This video is definitely not going to be a full in-depth review of the cards themselves, as that could be its entirely own separate video. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with all of the perks and benefits and coupons and credits that come with the cards, I'm going to go ahead and put something up on screen here that just runs through all of the major stuff that you should know about. So if you're unfamiliar, make sure you pause and read that, so that way you can be caught up with what we're going to be talking about here in the video. Now, the real cut and dry reason as to why I went for the American Express Platinum card is nothing substantial. The main reason is because of my sign-up bonus eligibility. When the Chase Sapphire Reserve was refreshed, they changed the language surrounding who was eligible for a welcome bonus on the card and made it similar to American Express, where they can kind of vaguely decide via pop-up jail whether or not you are eligible. And unfortunately, I was not. So the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I would have gotten squat for, even paying $795 for the card. However, the American Express Platinum card was offering me in-app 100,000 membership rewards points after spending $8,000 in the first 6 months. And while I know that it could have been 175,000, that was 50,000 points higher than what I was offered online. And I think that that's because I got the gold card earlier in the same year and they didn't want to give me a huge sign-up bonus. But at the end of the day, 100,000 points is 100,000 more than what I would have gotten with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So while that answer might not be super exciting, that is the biggest deciding factor that was in my head when deciding whether or not I should go for the Sapphire Reserve or the Platinum. And on top of that, there was a lot of pros in terms of the value that the card provided in the first year. So in terms of the annual fee, I had my annual fee on the Platinum completely wiped by literally using 2 credits. I double dipped the airline incidental fee credit, and because I signed up for the card in October, I got a 5th quarter of the Resi dining credits for an effective $900 between the two. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with double dipping, it just refers to being able to use calendar year credits more than once on the card and getting more value than what's advertised. So for 2025, I was able to use the $200 airline fee credit. Then we rolled over into 2026 and I got to use the same $200 airline fee credit again because we started in a new year, and yet I only paid the one annual fee. So the first year of this card was covered by 2 credits, being able to double dip. And on top of that, there is a ton of value left over for this card, right? The fact that I'm able to consider the biggest credit, the $600 Fine Hotels and Resorts credit, the $300 digital entertainment credit, $200 in Uber Cash, right? $300 at Lululemon for $75 a quarter, right? The fact that I'm able to take another, what is that, like $1,300 in value and consider that a bonus, like a cherry on top, is huge, right? My annual fee was wiped, and now look at all this other stuff that I have to just play around with and enjoy for the next year without having to worry about whether or not it's making up my annual fee. Another reason that I was very tempted to go for this card over the Sapphire Reserve is just how easy American Express points are to earn. Not only was I going to be earning 100,000 points from the sign-up bonus, but American Express also has partnerships with Rakuten, and that makes online shopping easy to earn membership rewards points. And on top of that, their Amex offers are some of the best in the game when it comes to credit cards. It's really easy to earn MR points back. It's really easy to earn cash back on those offers. And at the end of the day, Amex is the most rewarding ecosystem to be in. And while I do really love Chase for Hyatt, at the end of the day, the 3 times dining multiplier on that card is really all that I would have gotten out of it. And so it kind of made it easier to justify the American Express Platinum card. Now, with all that being said, there is definitely some cons to this situation. And the biggest con, really the only one, but it is so massive, is the fact that there is no guest lounge access on the Platinum card. And for somebody that travels in a 2-player setup like myself, right, I'm probably never in my life going to be traveling alone. It is always going to be with my partner. The fact that I can't get her into a lounge without paying an additional $50 for a one-time visit, paying an additional $195 to get her as an authorized user on my card, or paying another $900 to just have a card for her own to be able to have unlimited lounge access as well and get access to credits and benefits, is definitely frustrating and kind of takes away from the premium feel of the card. And don't get me wrong, like I understand why they did it. American Express Centurion lounges are just overcrowded, is what I've heard. They're a nightmare to try and get into, especially at airports like LAX. It can be super frustrating that you don't get to visit because of how crowded it is. And so I understand. I understand why they did it, but that doesn't mean that I can't be upset about it. And I am upset about it because I don't want to have to pay $50 on top of the $900 that I'm already paying to be able to get my partner into a lounge as well. Now, as for why I was even considering the Chase Sapphire Reserve in the first place, it's again pretty simple. The credits, in my opinion, are a much better selection than the American Express Platinum card. And while, yes, there is more ceiling for the American Express Platinum, at the end of the day, the simplicity that comes along with the Sapphire Reserve, if you can even call it that, the more simple stuff that comes along with the Sapphire Reserve still provided me good value, and the credits more aligned with my everyday life, right? It came with dining credits, StubHub credits, the easiest travel credit in the entire world of credit cards to use. It was just easy to recoup the value in an everyday aspect, and I think that that's what drew me to the card initially, on top of the fact that I could get my partner into Chase Sapphire lounges. They allow 2 guests per card member, and same thing with Priority Pass without having to pay any extra. And that was a huge upside for me. That was something that I was really looking forward to be able to do. However, something that I took into consideration when applying for these cards was the lower ceiling value that the Sapphire Reserve holds, right? For me, the 3 valuable credits would have been the travel credit at $300, the StubHub credit at $300, 150 semi-annually, and the dining credit for $300, again, $150 semi-annually. That caps out at $900, covers my annual fee, but then after I use those credits, what's left? What, you've got the edit, which has not only been devalued over the last couple of months, but also super difficult to use because of the 2-night minimum and their reduction in benefits as well. So, okay, cool. Even if I did use the edit, that's only $1,400 worth of value. Now, take a look at the platinum credit. On a year-to-year basis, this isn't including double dipping. I could use the $200 airline credit, $400 in Resi credit, and a $300 digital entertainment credit for the same $900. But then on top of that, I'm getting $600 in Fine Hotels and Resorts credit with no nightly minimum. They have the free breakfast still, which the edit does not. Guaranteed late 4 p.m. checkout, which the edit does not. Whole host of benefits. FHR is just better, right? So I've got $600 bonus to use on that, $300 semi-annually. I've got a bonus $75 every quarter to go spend at Lululemon. And I've already used it twice now. Again, I used Q4 of 2025 and Q1 of 2026 so far. And I got my partner a pair of leggings and I got myself a bag. And I love it. She loves the leggings. I love the bag. I'm having a great time. It's fun. I would never go to Lululemon, but again, it's a bonus and it's something that I have enjoyed using as part of the card. And I think does provide value in the sense of it's a perk. It's a benefit. It's a cherry on top, right? You also get $200 of Uber cash every year, which is super easy to use, even when you're not taking Ubers, because you can use it for Uber Eats, which is how I like to use it most times. And then on top of that, something that, as far as I'm concerned, no other travel card aside from the American Express Green Card offers, a Clear Plus credit to help complement your global entry or TSA PreCheck. And then these last couple of benefits I've already briefly mentioned, but they are thanks to hindsight, right? At the time of when I would have applied for this card for the CSR, these were not a thing. But the fact that they have devalued the edit, an already difficult to use program, and made it worse is something that I'm thankful for, maybe holding off on or just not applying for the card altogether. The value proposition of the edit was even though you need a 2-night minimum stay in order to qualify for the credits, you could redeem your Chase Ultimate Rewards points at 2 cents per point when booking edit properties. That meant that if I wanted to book a $500 a night hotel, I could book, it'd be $1,000 total, take $250 off, and then the $750 left over, I could burn 37,500 Ultimate Rewards points to cover. And that would have been fine and dandy. That would have been good. But now they've removed that. They said that that was their plan all along. They're just being really odd about this whole thing, and is something that now is less tempting to use, right? I don't want 1.65 points when redeeming for the edit. I want 2. That was the value proposition. And they've also removed guaranteed breakfast. I think they're leaving it up to the properties now, but that is like a standard benefit that comes with these luxury hotel collections, right? Even Capital One's collection, you get free breakfast. The Visa hotel collection, the MasterCard hotel collection, I'm pretty sure those come with free breakfast also. American Express Fine Hotels and Resorts, that comes with free breakfast. This is like a standard thing that Chase just decided, yeah, we're going to kind of take that away. We're going to make the edit worse as if it wasn't already more difficult to use. And so again, while that's thanks to hindsight, it has definitely contributed to my overall satisfaction with the American Express Platinum in the first few months that I've had it. Now, even though the Chase Sapphire Reserve is ultimately a better card, but I'm still thankful that I didn't get it. And I'm glad that I have the Platinum card. The Platinum is still on the chopping block after year one. And the main reason, again, boils down to the lounge access. When I'm in two-player mode and constantly traveling with a partner, for me, premium perks for just myself just doesn't cut it. I don't want to be paying $900 for a card and then not be able to get my P2 into a lounge and have her enjoy the benefits as well. And then on top of that, I recently added the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card and took the 5 free night sign up bonus offer. So that, after the first year of holding the card, will be eligible to upgrade to the Ritz-Carlton card, which gives Chase Sapphire Lounge access. And that could be my premium travel card of choice because of that, and also just the ease of use of the credits on that card as well. Another reason that I'm probably going to be canceling the American Express Platinum card is just the fact that there are so many other good bonuses out there to be hunting that I don't want to be paying super high annual fees for cards that I'm not going to be using. As I mentioned in my roadmap video, I really don't have time in between sign up bonuses to be spending a lot of money unless it's a super small one like the $500 in 3 months. But for the most part, the cards that I'm signing up for at this point in the game are $4,000 spend in 3 months of having the card. And so a lot of the times that ends up taking the full 3 months. And by the time that 3 months is up, I'm ready to move on to the next card. So for me, there's not a lot of personal spend in between cards. And if I want another premium travel card, again, for the sake of the bonus, maybe I'm eligible for the CSR next year. Maybe I want to go for the City Strata Elite, right? Those are very solid cards that offer very solid welcome bonuses. And so to pay $900 for a card just to let it sit in the back seat, like the American Express Platinum would in that instance, just really doesn't make sense. And I'd be totaling well over $2,000 in annual fees for a card that I'm not using. I'm not using the benefits. I'm having to work my magic with the credits in order to get value from the card, right? Even though I'm not actually wanting to do that. So I know that that may seem like a boring answer, but there are just too many other good offers to go for. And I can't justify paying $900 for a card that is never going to come out of my wallet. While I can fully admit that the CSR is the better card for myself on paper and is potentially in my roadmap in the future, again, as long as it comes along with a welcome bonus, even though they have comparable dining, travel, and entertainment credits, I elected to go with the American Express Platinum card because of the ability to double dip, the sign-up bonus that came along with it, and the higher ceiling value that came along in year one with having the card compared to the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Now, while I know that my answers may have been a little bit boring, I am very transparent and also realistic when it comes to how I think about credit cards. If the card is not giving me the value that I need it to in my life, I'm not going to hold on to it just for status or to be able to say that I have a certain card. I'm in this game to get value from the game, right? I don't want to be sitting around and paying $900 for a card that I'm not going to use just to say that I have the Platinum card. The second that it stops working for me and something offers more value, I'm willing to jump ship and move on to the next one. And I think that that's realistically how we should all be playing this game in order to get the maximum amount of value. Again, if the card continues to provide year after year and you can justify the annual fee, go for it. Why wouldn't you? But in my case, that's not how it's looking like this is going to be, and not looking like how any premium travel card is going to be. So hopefully you were able to take a little bit of my thought process and the way that I evaluate whether or not a card provides value and apply it to your own journey if maybe you're indecisive about what you want to go for next. These cards should be working for you. You should not be working for them. And I hope you guys are able to do the best on your credit card journey that you possibly can. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.